Hi there everybody, it's Rarity here from inkbutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. And I've got something new to play with. I bought this Tranquil Thoughts cling stamp and its coordinating Tranquil dies as a bundle. So don't forget that if there are bundles in the catalogue, you do save 10% on the combined price. So they're always worth having a look at. So the stamp set caught my eye in the first instance because it's got some really lovely sentiments in there. Always good to have a thank you. And I think the wishing you a beautiful day could lend itself to all kinds of different occasions. So I thought that was really nice, and I'm a real sucker for feathers as well, and I think that those sort of stylised leaves could pass as feathers too. Really like this little swirly thing as well. So really lovely stamp set. And then I had a closer look at the dies. There's a couple missing that we're going to use in the card project to cut the flowers and the leaves and stuff, but this huge die will cut a really lovely decorative corner. And then we've got these lovely frames as well, so watch this space for something being done with that. The colour palette is a little different that has been picked for me as part of a colour challenge that we've got just for fun on Facebook, primarily so that we use Merry Merlot because it is stunning and doesn't get used as much as it might be, and we're combining that with Misty Moonlight and Mint Macaron. So I've already done my cutting and my prepping in the back already, so you don't need to see me cut cardstock. And we're going to sort of turn it inside out and swap the Merry Merlot and the Misty Moonlight. So I've already cut an everyday label in Merry Merlot. I've got my stamping layer, and well, it's not really my stamping layer, but the layers I'm going to decorate, if you like. So this is basic white in, well, it's Whisper White really, but we don't sell it anymore, so it would be basic white for you guys. 3 by 5 3/4 piece of Mint Macaron, which is 3 1/8 by 4 7/8 of an inch, and then the final piece is 3 1/4 by 5. So those are our layers, and I've already cut a Misty Moonlight card base. Got a scrap of card there as well to do my stamping. I'm just going to put that over there so that I can use it. So on the original sample you'll see that I used this embossing folder. This is actually one of a combo that comes in the Forever Fern suite, so these are the greenery embossing folders. So just because we can, we'll use the other one for the remake. So if I take that top layer that's going to be our decorative layer, we can actually get that lined up in there ready to go as well. When we've done, because we're going to do all our so this one, because there's quite it's quite a uniform design, it's going to show if it's not straight, so just take a moment just to make sure that that's straight in your embossing folder. Yep, so those leaves just line up beautifully with that, and we'll run that through in a moment. We'll just do a little bit of stamping first. We'll do our Mint Macaron with our lovely leaves first, and as you know, 3s or odd numbers are always pleasing. So there we go, we'll have 3 of them. Okay, and the flower we're going to do in Merry Merlot as opposed to our original, which we did with Misty Moonlight. And I just want to pause there and just show you how well that inks up on that red rubber. Isn't that just amazing? They're just such high quality stamps. It's just incredible. Okay, so we'll get that stamped there. And you know what? We've probably got some space there for our sentiment. So let's get our sentiment stamped while we're in here. And we're going to use Misty Moonlight for that. So I kind of had it in mind that it was going to be really fun if I could actually use all 3 cardstocks and all 3 inks. So there's my 3 inks, and I've got all 3 cardstocks in play because I've got the label in the Merlot. So I just thought it was just a little private challenge in the mix of it. Okay, so we're going to die cut our flower, and the new dies that Stampin' Up produce. They changed the supplier, and then they brought out their die cut machine, and the two work incredibly well together. Get a clean cut every time. So just as a quick reminder, if you've not seen it, the machine itself is rather large to get into undershot, but I'll link in the description to the product so you can see a picture of it. But it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a really lovely machine, and the handle turns really smoothly. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Ooh. So you get a base plate which you use every time you use the machine. Okay, the number 2 plate is the one you use with your die cutting, and then you have your number 3 plates. That one hasn't got a number on it. Oh, these may have been my other plates, but these are number 3 plates. Your clear cutting plates will be labelled as number 3. So you get a bottom plate, put your cardstock and your die on top, sandwich it with your top plate, run it through, and hey presto. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So normally I'd have all this just sitting on the machine and just pull my my top plate in when I needed it. If you heard the cracking noises, then that's absolutely fine, because it's just the way the pressure of the die cuts into those acrylic plates. And look at that, it's just stunning, absolutely stunning. So I've actually got 2 of those because I'm just sort of changing things up a bit, and I've already die cut 3 sets of leaves. Okay, so just push that out and those can go away. And while we're here, we'll cut our sentiment. So sentiment wise then, this does fit quite nicely in this punch, this everyday label punch. Okay, but I wanted to bring in the coloured border. So what I'm actually doing is shuffling that over to the left a little, keeping that wishing U is nice and straight. So I'm just going to keep that straight with the cutting edge like so. Okay, but I'm going to put this back in, and it's easy to do with this punch because you've got the nice straight edge to line it up, and it's not going to go all the way to the left here. Okay, so we're going to cut off a portion from the right. Okay, so slot it in and cut it again. I call it double punching. Okay, so we've taken off this edge of the label, which means that when we layer them together, we will have the Merry Merlot on the edges. Is that not the most brilliant thing ever? Well, we may as well stick that together while we're here. Oh, whoops, misbehaving. So just use a bit of seal on that. And there we have it, ready to go. Alright, a couple of dimensionals on the back, and then it really is ready to go. Okay, awesome. Right, got to emboss, haven't we? I've just grabbed my ribbon, but we need to emboss first. So here's my piece that I've now moved in this embossing folder. Let's just get that lined up again. Because the sensible thing to do would be to make it a little bit wider and then trim it down. But I'd already trimmed it, so there we go. So there we go, that'll do. So on the machine then, this is a regular embossing folder, so we're going to sandwich it between the two clear plates, like we would do normally, making sure that the hinge goes in to the machine first. We do not need the number 2 plate, so take that out. So we've just got number 1 base plate and our 2 number 3 cutting pads for our regular embossing folders. Look at that. Is that not the most amazing thing ever? Isn't that cool? So there you go. Beautifully embossed piece of cardstock. Right, let's start putting some stuff together. Okay, because we can. Because these layers can just go on top of each other. There's no fancy stuff that we need to do with them. So we'll just get those stuck down. The embossed piece, depending on the pattern, you may have more success using wet glue for that, but I'm just going to use plenty of tape along the length of that. Then I guess, does it matter which way up it goes? It feels like it's better as a V. I'm not sure it actually matters. Might be one of those that looks the same both ways, because the spacing between the little leaves is the same. And now we can bring in our ribbon. Right, so what about that much? I love this tulle ribbon. This tulle ribbon just goes with everything. It's so versatile. And it just adds texture without being too heavy on your card. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, don't really want to add all that extra stuff. But this is quite nice, lightweight ribbon. Just going to secure that kind of on the back. It's probably not straight, but it won't matter. And then we'll get this we won't stick it to our card. Very important. I need to do my tone on tone stamping. Did you notice in the background there? Tone on tone stamping. So Misty Moonlight ink and this lovely little flourishy stamp. Just going to stick some scrap paper in between there, that way around though, and we'll do our stamping. So this is tone on tone, right? Okay, so we're going to get this nice dark version of the colour coming through, twisting and turning. Didn't stamp that very well, did I? So you get different portions showing around the edge. Remember, we've got our layer going over the top, so you don't need to go too far into the middle. Okay, just twisting and turning that stamp around. Like so. If you find it easier, turn your cardstock instead. Okay, that will do just nicely. So hopefully you saw me. I was creeping down the page there, wasn't I? There we go. Really, really cute. The other way you can achieve this look, in fact, let me clean that stamp. Let me just show you quickly. Make sure that's good and clean. Just got my chamois off to the left of me in the drawer, so I can clean that stamp off. So that's all nice and clean now. The other way you could achieve something similar is by using clear Versamark ink. Now, everyone uses this just for embossing, really, which is all fine and dandy, but it's actually called a watermark stamp pad, and it was actually that's what it was designed to do. Okay, but it also helps us with the embossing, so you can get a completely different kind of tone on tone stamping with your Versamark pad. So that is another option if you don't have all the matching Stampin' Up colours. Okay, so I'm not going to worry about that because we're covering it up. So now I can stick my layer on. Oh man. So let's just put that into place. Something like straight. Okay, so now we're ready to embellish. So we have our little label. Well, let's do our knot. Let's do our knot first, and then we can build everything around our little knot. So just tucking that around there. So I've got loads more ribbon than I particularly needed. Should we just, we've got so much of it, let's loop it round and make a bow out of it as well. She says, trying to just pull through that loop. There we go. So I've got some added beautiful texture there with that tool. Isn't that just gorgeous? We've got our label, we've got our flowers. I'm going to actually sandwich these together and give them some extra lift. So almost like double popping them, but I could offset them actually. Oh, let's do that. I'm going to offset them this way, like that, so you've got even more interest on the back. That's what we do. So let's stick our flowers in somewhere around there. Put on our sentiment label, which I like to sort of, you know, have things, if you have them sort of touching and overlapping each other, they immediately become part of the design. And I do like it overhanging. It just brings everything together. And then we just need to add our little leaves. So I tend to favour wet glue for these kinds of things. It means you can just push them in under the other elements, and then the glue will hold them in place. So we'll have that one under there. So just press where that glue is. And then another one just here, I think. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, it's stunning. Just need to trim off these ends. Like that. So we've got a beautiful amount of texture with that ribbon. We've got the added dimensional behind the flowers. I think that looks lovely. So I always make you choose, don't I? Choose! Which one do you like? Merry Merlot card base or the Misty Moonlight card base? It's an interesting one. I think I like this one. I just think it just comes together better, personally. I do like the bow as opposed to the knot, and I like the double layered flowers. So, elements to like in both. I'd be love to know what you think. As always, guys, the all the description and stuff is full of links. Press on one of those links, it takes you straight to my online shop, and you can purchase your goodies in there. Brilliant. Thanks a lot for joining me, everybody. Stay safe. Take care. See you soon. Bye.